Sorry, coming to you on Thursday, September 11th. It is 11:59 p.m. and I don't have all my stuff together. But I thought I need to get on here before midnight, right? Let me kind of scooch this around a little bit. All right. And then let's see if I can get my device synced up here. And hopefully I'll have some sound. Sometimes I get a notice and sometimes I don't. I'd like to see if anybody's catching me live and commenting. So I have sound. That's a good thing. So, welcome. I am going to clear some of this away a little bit here so I don't look quite so disorganized, even though I am. So, yesterday we made these fun little cards. And tonight I had hoped to do a card with this idea, excuse me, in a card because I've seen it before where when you open up the card, there's a cutout and then the little focal point spins around. But I just didn't get all my stuff together. So I don't know if I'm probably not going to pull it off. We have quite a few things going on this weekend and my head is kind of in a different place. I got some sourdough bread stuff started and yeah, there's a lot going on. So I'm just going to do a couple of quickie little things. I am going to case another couple of cards, I think, from the catalog or the online exclusive, rather, because that's where this Ornamental Christmas is coming from. So let me move these out of the way. These were really fun, by the way. And these are mostly copied from the online store with the the samples that Stampin' Up! Provides us. So what I thought I would do is a couple of note cards again. I'm gonna hang on to this because I have something in mind for that. We'll see. I've got some note card envelopes here and a couple of note cards, and these are 5 by 7. Yeah, and scored at 3.5. All right. And I may as well just get these ready too, so that we'll do kind of like assembly line tonight. And I like to get them pretty flat. A couple of these aren't doing it. So, all right, so there's my card bases. And then we're going to take this piece and I am going to find some foil paper. And I am almost out of the current foil paper. So I am going to have to pull out of my stash. Yep, I'm going to have to pull out of my stash. I'm trying to see if that's copper. I think this one's gold. All right, this one says brass, so I think that's going to be close enough to gold for our purposes today. So let's just trim a few pieces here. And let's see how wide this is. We'll just do like a 3-inch piece here. and set this aside. And I'm actually going to cut just a few strips because I'm going to make, I probably only need one for the card we're going to do. And then I need the little ornament, and I need the little topper. And let's see, that'll fit on one piece. Cool. And then I need some white to do a sentiment on. And what else? Some DSP. So if we're using this Modern Christmas DSP, the sample in the catalog shows it with the Fa La 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 paper, which I think is going to be really fun. I'll take a piece of this. And just cut this down. So we're going to have this ornament kind of going like this. So I think I've probably got this at 8 inches, 8 1/4. So I'm just going to slice this at 4. That'll kind of keep the strips in card front size. And we'll just cut it at like 3 1/2. All right, so that can be die cut. And let me get another piece. And for anybody watching the replay, we used this stuff recently, and I turned it into a tree, all colored with my Stampin' Blends, because I didn't want it to look like little butts. And we kind of laughed about that. All right, so I'm going to need 2 of that gold one with what I'm doing here. And I just happen to have a scrap here, so we're going to do that. And I need the little Christmas tree here. So let's just cut a little rectangle of that as well. And we're just going to see how quick and easy we can do a couple of cards here. All right, so I think I'm going to be able to use my little Betsy mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And we'll put this on here. And when I do this, I layer or I stagger my plates so that they go through the machine a little bit easier rather than have... Hello, Robert. Welcome. So rather than have them all lined up together to create a roadblock, I stagger them because then the machine can pick them up a little bit easier. And let's see, we'll do this one. And this one. And this is all part of creating... Hello, Fifi. This is all part of creating that ornament. And you'll see in a minute, because it's going to be a pretty quick and easy card, I think. Let's see if I can get this to pop out of here. There we go. And then, oh, that's interesting. I hadn't used this die yet. So it actually just creates a border. That's interesting. So let's see if, We can just put it in the die maybe here. Well, that is so very interesting. I hadn't realized that that was going to be that way. All right, well, let's trim this though. I could probably put it in my trimmer. That'll give me a straighter line. So what are you folks up to tonight? I almost did not make it before midnight. It was a struggle. Definitely a little bit of a struggle for me. We have a lot of things going on this weekend. And yeah, I was just busy today. I had a class today, and there were 4 extra people that I wasn't anticipating. So luckily I had enough supplies with me. All right, so this piece then, these circles are really kind of fun. I think I may have to keep those and maybe use them as little ornament baubles. If I had a flat plate, those would come off a little easier. I was going to ask you about that yesterday, how you are healing up, because it's been a month-ish, or is it 6 weeks? So let's see how this is going to work here. I want to try to get this kind of straight. Although maybe I want to wait. I'm going to wait on this because if I try to lift this up a little bit with dimensionals, I might need to trim that differently. So let me find another scrap of the gold. You kind of knew that though, didn't you, Fifi? Wasn't this just like a little Band-Aid procedure? Because they just went in and kind of cleaned it all up, right? With the, I don't know if that's the meniscus in there or what that is. All right, so those are good. This is good. I can put these all away. And then I need the Christmas tree. Where, oh, here it is. Is that all on the same side? So Fifi is the knee and the hip on the same leg, I guess is what I was asking. Oh, that went crooked. Robert, I don't do craft ceramic or paint. Thank you, Fifi. All right, so that's going to be for our other one. Oh, well, the sample actually shows these little dots on this little tree. So what do you know? And then I'm also going to cut out this little star. These dies, there's a lot of them. Whoops. So we've got the little tree here, but there's also this little star. So I'm going to cut that out too, because since we're doing it on a note card, the sample actually shows it on a 3x3 card. And we're going to do it on a note card. So we're going to have a little bit more acreage to work on. Left hip, right knee. Because I was thinking, okay, if you have like a foot issue and then you compensate and then you get knee issues and then if you don't get the knee taken care of, then you end up with hip issues. It just kind of moves its way up or down depending on how you have to compensate. But you're messed up on both sides. Poor thing. All right, I think that's all the cutting I need to do for right now. So let's go ahead and put little Betsy away. I'm drinking some chai tea latte. What's anybody else drinking? All right, so here's our little ornament. And I'm going to go ahead and put the little topper on there because that's going to go there. We're going to use some glue. And attach this on here. And I probably should have put the glue on the ornament rather than the topper because I glued up too high, so I'm going to have a little sticky mess if I touch that. But it'll be all right. I'm not worried about the glue being on there. So this is going to end up going on here, but this piece is going to come across here. And I think I want to cut that a little more narrow. Welcome, Sala. How are you doing tonight? So I'm just going to cut this pretty close to where the kind of the perforated dots are on here, because that's going to help me keep it straight. And I'm using longer scissors rather than my snips just because they help me keep it straighter, I think. All right. And let's find some little dimensionals in here. I think I'm going to use black, the black mini ones, because they should fit pretty well right in here. That's going to help me elevate that part of that ornament strip. So let's take these off. Sometimes I can do it with my tweezers pretty well. Sometimes I just grab my take your pick tool because it's easier. All right. So this will kind of go across the middle. Then, oh, I guess I kind of need some glue on the ends here, don't I? So you're just waking up, so it's early for you. I mean, you're in Finland, so I forget what time it is by you. Is it like 9:15? You were up late though with Pam last night, I think, right? I left just a little bit after you did. Robert, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by you're a Hallmark card that's really expensive. Hello, I'm the mom, that's why. "1:18 a.m. So you're in Michigan. So you're just across the pond from me. Welcome. I don't know that you've been on my page before. So 8:18 for you. Okay, I was a little off. I was thinking you were 9 hours ahead of us. I got a little bit of glue on there. All right, so I think I'm going to use some of this twine too, this black and gold. It's not on the sample um, in the online store, but I think it'll work. So I'm just going to make my little loop here, but I'm going to tie a knot because I don't want those threads to spread out on the bottom. And we're going to use a little stamp and seal here. And again, I did not work out my projects ahead of time. That's a little low, or a little high, rather. So you're the mom. That's why. What's your first name? Or should we just call you mom? Like Sally did. So I'm also going to use just some tear and tape to hold that on. We're going to put this up with dimensionals. Welcome, Vicky. So I go on every night, sometime between 11 p.m. and midnight Central Time. So here I am. All right, so something else just popped into my head. I need to find, I just think I need something on the back of this card. And I'm not sure what I want it to be. I think maybe I'll make it some snowflakes with the delicate pines. You think? Would that work out all right? Oh, we'll just use little snowflakes. And then I have to see. Hello, Juju. How are you? All right. So this is going to go here. I still need to put a sentiment on here, which is right here. So let me get my scrap, and I'm just going to get some Memento Black. And we're just going to stamp this whole thing. I don't know if I want to use the whole thing. I might just use the Peace and Joy because that's what's on the sample from Stampin' Up. But I might actually want to use all of it. And I'm not zoomed in either, am I? Yeah, I think so. All right. I think I want to trim that down too. This is going to be a little bit of a trick because it's so little already. Woohoo! That'll work. All right, so I'm going to slice those apart. So I'm going to do wishing you, and I think I'm going to even slice the wishing and you apart. Let me see if I can zoom this in just a little bit for you ladies. Hopefully that's all right. I think he's just trolling us. So now I need to figure out, should I do some snowflakes in gold embossed on here, do you think? Or was that going to be too much? Because I'm thinking if I do the wishing you Peace and joy. That's going to kind of be like the sample. So let me glue this on because that's going to sit right about here. And then I'll put a little dimensional. I'll put dimensionals all over that actually. The snowflakes in black? I hadn't considered that actually. I was thinking maybe some gray. It just seems like that background needs something. Yeah, well, the other night, who's saying they missed? Yeah, Juju was here one night all by herself. Was that last night? I lose track of time. And things were not nearly as lively. You need more people to chit chat. Yeah, black, I wouldn't have considered black for snowflakes. Although I can emboss them in white. And then maybe do, let's just emboss some of these in white. I think that'll work. What about two white? I'm doing a tree on the other card, so I didn't want to do a tree overload. Because I'm going to do a tree on one of these because I do have this one cut out already. And we're going to do something with this one. I'm going to need to cut out a few more because the sample, you're just getting ahead of us, Vicky. That's all. Was it Vicky? Now I have to go back. Yes, Vicky. Whew. All right. So I'm going to probably cut out a few more of these because this is actually going to go here. Actually, I might just stamp on there. So this one from last night I thought was really fun with just the lines on there. So maybe I could do that. Oh, I could even do that with this. So let's go ahead and we'll emboss some white snowflakes on here. You think the black would look like silhouettes? Yes, I made Juju make all the decisions. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Let me put this away. All right, we're going to go ahead and get my white embossing powder. And we're going to stamp some of these on here. Yes. Did you see that card, you guys? She made me fussy cut all of these little itty bitty poinsettias. Look at that. She made me fussy cut all of that. But then she had to sit and watch me do it too, or listen to me do it. Yeah, fussy cuss. In my head. All right, well, I'm just going to leave that open because we're going to do a bunch of these. And I'm just guessing where they are just because I'm moving down. They should be fine. All right, so let's, oh, I forgot my little spoon. Oops, I spilled some of that out of there. It'll be fine. Ooh, I don't want to get that powder in my Versamark. Yep, she had all the power. I figured if I had her make all the decisions, then she wouldn't take a nap. All right, so I think this might end up being kind of cute. And what I could actually do is a little bit of ink blending on here, but we would have to decide what color we think might work. All right, let's cover this up. I'll get my heat gun. On your live, Juju, you go for 2 hours? That was fun. I think the cards turned out really good. Well, some of you ladies go for hours and hours and hours. It seems like. So in case you came in late, this is just a note card size. The sample that Stampin' Up! Provided is a 3x3 card, so I'm changing it up just a little bit. Well, Juju, you've been working late at least one night this week, I think. There we go. All right. So if this is the front of our card, we've got our little snowflakes on here. What color do you think I should do some blending? Or maybe it won't need it because you've got the shimmer from the snowflakes. And I'm going to save these. So let me try to burnish this again. Well, you'll have a pretty good paycheck then, hey? All right. So this is going to go here. I'm going to put these up on some adhesive strips. I guess maybe I'll use these because they're falling off the sheet. Oh, and I probably want to just keep this on here for right now. So I'm not ready to stick it on the card if we're going to do some ink blending. So when does he graduate? Good for him for being in the Army. I have a lot of respect for our military personnel. I worked at the VA in North Chicago for 2 years. I might have mentioned that before. But some of those people really sacrifice a lot to serve in the military. December. Well, good for him. That's awesome. So do we want to do ink blending or just leave it? Sorry. I spent some time outside today and I think I've got these fall allergy things going on. All right, we're going to save these for the other one, so don't mind those. Ink blending or no? I could do maybe a light blue. Like maybe pool party. I think that's the lightest blue I have. Well, we could do cloud cover, but that might look kind of grayish, dirty. Maybe night of navy. You don't think that would be too dark with that black ornament? So if I stamp some black snowflakes on a scrap and see what it looks like, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We can do that. We have the technology. I'll just stamp that on here. I probably don't have to tap twice, but I always seem to tap twice. That actually looks pretty cute. I do like it. So let's go ahead and put some of those on there. Or I could use this for a second card with an ornament. So now I'm in a quandary. Do I do some blending on here? I could always stamp the black on top of the blending too. So let's do, I do like those black snowflakes, believe it or not. Who knew? Fifi, apparently. I'm just trying to keep it super light. The gold version, like with gold snowflakes. I just want it to not be so plain on the background. Okay, we can do some gold snowflakes. And believe it or not, this is turning a little bit blue. I'm trying to go really easy on it because I don't want it to take away from the ornament. I guess I'll put a little dark over here because I got a little much on that edge. It does suit the modern Christmas really well, you're right. Well, I think I might have kind of messed it up, so I think I'm going to do a little heavier just around the edges here so that it looks like I meant it to be that way. You showed it tonight? What did what did you show? Oh, you got your first order in. That's right. Part of it was supposed to be delivered. Was that today? Well, I'm glad you got it already. I didn't remember what day it was, but your other one had shipped too. All right. Well, I might have ruined this and I might decide to do this one for something else. So we'll just see. I got these edges a little darker than what I had intended, but all right, so there's that. I think that would look all right. Let me just get a tissue so I can buff those snowflakes. You can kind of see those snowflakes pop around. So we can do a couple of black ones on here too. Because I think the black and the blue would look good, don't you think? And I did a little darker on the top thinking that's like more to the dark sky. I don't know what I was thinking. So let's do some little darker snowflakes. And I should have maybe stamped them all off because that gives me a pretty little gray. Where did my ornament go? How cute is that? Oh, I like it. See, that's why we collaborate on here, because I would not have considered doing black snowflakes, but I really like that. And I think I'm going to put another one up here. What do you think of that? I think that turned out really fun. It's always a surprise. All right, so let's go ahead and put this on. So we can get a better idea of where those other words are going to go. All right. I guess that snowflake's not going to show unless I could go down a little bit further, because then this will be closer to the center. Yeah. All right, that'll work there. And then we've got wishing, I lost one of my words. Here it is. Whew. Wishing you. So we could do wishing you peace and joy. And then, do we need some rhinestones or something on here, do you think? Fifi is a crazy scientist. That's funny. All right, what about gems? Do we need some gems? I wish I had some gold gems. I do have some little gold stars, but they're a different color from the paper there. I think I'm just going to have to use some rhinestones because I don't really have anything that I think will work good. So I could color these black. Yeah, I don't think, I thought I looked last time I was looking for some gold gems. The ones that I have that are metallic are different colors. I have a bunch, just I don't think any of them are gold. Oh, here we go. Gilded gems. Let's see how that looks. That'll work. All right, let me put these rhinestones. I was hoping I could have cleaned off that little card. Oh, did you say the gilded gems as I was looking? Ah, that's funny. Yeah, my embellishments are not in any kind of order, so I just have to flip through my pack to find them. And I did not unpack a take your pick tool yet. I had a class, today was my Thoughtful Thursday where I do the senior ladies group. I have to drive about half an hour to get to them. But we had 4 more than I was expecting, so luckily I had enough stuff with me. In the middle of some of the snowflakes? Oh, sure, now I used all the little ones already. Maybe I'll take this one. See if I can get it off of there. Maybe I'll do this here. Oh, there's nothing wrong with being like-minded. All right, so I still think I want a couple down here, so I'm gonna just put the bigger ones down here. All right. That turned out really cute. Nice. All right. I won't put these too far away because we might need them. Those big ones are so big though, man. All right. Let's make something out of this. Why not, right? I have this. Let me get some black. Do you think black would look good under? Just a layer of black. I'll have to put a gem there because I got a little, oh, maybe that's just, what does having things organized mean? Yeah, no kidding. Everything in its pile, or a pile for everything and everything in its pile or something. If somebody comes in here and moves my stuff, then I can't find anything because I know where stuff is supposed to be, where I left it last. So, don't mess with it because then I can't find it if you try to fix it for me. All right, do you think that those are all right, or will that be too messy? We could do, instead of on an oak card, we could do this tree on here maybe. And I'm going to, oh, that one's cute too. Maybe I should cut a couple more trees. But there's also the stamp because I was thinking I could stamp some on here. But now I've got all these snowflakes. So let me go get a piece of black. I don't think I have black right here. Let's see what I have in pre-cut pieces. I'll do this one and then I'll just split it. We might have. Where did Vicky go? Vicky, are you still with us? She might have dropped off because it looks like it's just the three of you and me. Looks like four of us. Let's do 1.5 inches here. All right, so if we do, oh, that's not going to work. Well, no, I'll just have to cut these. Silly me. Thank you, ladies. So if I want to do this, I guess I'm just going to have to go get a whole piece. I thought I could just use one of my scraps, but that's going to look like it's missing the center. So let me just go get a whole piece. I didn't have a scrap big enough to do the whole layer, and I wasn't thinking that the white layer wasn't as wide as the card. Although if I did a different, I could just do, I could create, you think it looks good like that, really? With the missing middle? Of course, I could put like a strip of gold or something in there. No, I'm just going to cut another layer here. And I need it to be, I'm missing some of my tools. There it is. Landscape, not portrait, yeah. Got to make sure I have it opening the right way. You like it with the missing middle? It's different. I could slide some red in there. You think I need another color in there? All right, so let's just start building the rest of this. Now, do we want to color the tree? I'm just going to hang on to that. It does kind of look like ribbon, you're right. It does. All right, so these baubles on the sample, which is really, really simple on the Stampin' Up! Design, it shows this little tree on a 3x3 card. So put everything down on the stamped background. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Some red, okay. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. And if this is on here, so the sample online shows just a 3x3 white card, nothing on the background. This little tree with the ornament topper as a bucket. And then it has a black sentiment strip with peace and joy embossed on it. So I thought at the very least, I would put that star on there. But what if we cut a couple more trees and just did red trees and laid them behind there? Because then it'll make the tree stand out. Or I could use darker DSP. You're right. Or I could color the tree green. Let's see what other DSP we have. Or, oh, you know what would be fun? What if we used, oh, I thought I had this open. I must have an open one somewhere. The snowflakes, here it is. What if we use some of this to cut out the tree? We could make a tree out of this, the back of this one. I think it's the little circle design. Yep. And that's still a little lost too, I think. Let's just cut out a couple of, you like this one? Or the green snowflakes. Those might actually be pretty peacock or something. Let me cut a strip of this. You don't know until you try. And then I'm just going to cut a couple of 3-inch pieces here. And then let's get the little die cut machine. What no? Juju, what no? Now I need to find that die again, don't I? Kind of got things buried a little bit. Okay, what's wild? The circles are too wild. The DSP with the circles. I think with the snowflakes, it might be a little much. Now, if we just did it on let's say a black, that might be stunning. Okay, so we'll stick with that. Let me cut out another one of these. If I was smart, I'd do it so I could get 2 out of 1 sheet here. Yeah, I don't care for the black dotted tree either. And I'm just going to cut one more. Since I'm cutting, I may as well just cut another one here. I wasn't very efficient with this piece. Although when I don't know if you remember, if you were all here, when I colored this with my Stampin' Blends for the one card that I just cut triangles on it, when I flipped it over, these dots were different shades of green, and it did look pretty cool, I thought. All right. Let's get this out of the way for now. Oh, I probably need some more little tree buckets, don't I? See if I can find another scrap of gold here. And I can cut 2 of those at one time because I have 2 of them from Stampin' Up. Though, like this, yeah, if I had it centered better. I'm not real happy with that one. If I was thinking ahead, it would have worked. Yeah, I could use it for a mask if it was more centered, but because it's so close to the end, I would not do well masking. My granddaughter did that one time. We were doing a live together, and she has seen me throw down my dies to get the paper to pop out of it. So she whips it down on the table. It was pretty funny. It worked. She was happy. She's fun to craft with. All right, so let's lay these back out here semi nicely. All right, and then if we have a couple of these. I still don't know that that works. I think we need to find something else because it's just not dark enough. Now what I could do is cut one out of black and stagger it and see how that looks. Now I know I have a scrap of black that would work for a tree. I didn't unpack all of my stuff from my class yet. I should do that before. Yeah, but it doesn't, it gets lost, excuse me, it gets lost with that background, I think. Don't you think it gets lost? But I think if I do a black tree, let's just see how it looks. Yeah, if I have it on dimensionals, it might look all right. I could just outline it. You're right. That would work. Come on. I have quite the clutter going on my table here. Luckily, I'm zoomed in so you can't see all the stuff over there. There, over there. That's really a mess. All right, so if we did this, let's pull this back over here. If we kind of did, I could even just do that. Scooch it up a little bit. Then I think I would almost have to do 2 more to go behind the green ones, so they don't look so different. Oops. And then these little baubles can go on here. Ooh, you were outed by your camera. That's funny. A clean desk is a sign of a sick mind. That was on a poster I used to have, like a little desk placard sort of thing. All right, so that could be kind of cute, but I think I need black behind those other trees, don't you? So let me cut a couple of those out. I'm just going to move my machine over here so I don't have to continually disrupt the table. I think that works a little bit better, don't you? They look like background pushed white tree out. I don't get it. I think the black helps though, don't you? How would it look to have the plain black tree just there decorated with the gold pieces? Well, let's just see. I only cut out the DSP because that was Stampin' Up! Sample, so we're not tied to it. We're not married to it. You know, if I embossed this, I think I would be happier with it being plain. Or what if I was thinking dry embossing. What if I heat embossed it with snowflakes, white snowflakes? Just the tree, just the black tree. I know it's a little crooked here, but you get the idea. So let me do another little black tree because I think we need that for the green. All right, so we'll just keep playing with this until we think it looks all right. And of course, now my Plates don't want to cooperate. Oh, for goodness sakes. I just have too much stuff sitting here, not cooperating with me. There we go. The struggle is real. All right. The poor butt paper. Or the Tata paper. All right, so I like those. What do we think about the black tree? I don't think it shows a full potential right now because the gold looks like black. I might actually like embossing on there better. So if I used, did I pull out that stamp set? Yes. Yep, I see it as Christmas tatas also. What if I emboss the black tree with a white snowflake? Yes, you remember now, Fifi. Or I could, yeah, no, what if I just did it with this little snowflake and did white snowflakes on there? Because then it would flow better with those green trees. Let me clean this off. And we'll get these little things back in here. What is that star? What stamps are in the other set? This set? Or the trees, the ornamental Christmas. This might turn out to be pretty cute. I'll surprise you in just a minute. All right, let me heat emboss this. Using the swingy lines as embossed on the tree, like for garland. Give me just a second. We're almost done with this. Let's see how this looks. All right. We're almost there. Oops, I just messed up that tree. All right, the moment of truth. Is this where we say ta-ta? What do you think of that? I might have to stamp off some more snowflakes on there. Or does that look too winter Hawaiian? Or do I need another black tree and do those lines on it? Because we can do that too. We have the technology. I have my embossing machine on my little rolling cart and it's just not cooperating. All right. So let's try this. I need a block. And we'll emboss that. That almost looks like a Hawaiian shirt. The black one with the snowflakes. I mean, I know Hawaii doesn't have snow, but it gives off kind of a Hawaiian shirt vibe to me. So if we do like, oh, you might not be able to see that, huh? If we did like this. And then like this. And then some powder. And I know Hawaiian shirts because my husband has a lot of them. So I missed some lines on here. So we'll have to kind of tuck that part of the tree under there. So where'd my tweezers go? All right, I seem to have lost my reverse tweezers. All right, see you next time, Sala. Thanks for popping by. If you're still here, what did I do with my tweezers? Oh, there they are. I think that with the lines is going to look better than the snowflakes. It's a little messy, but I think it'll work. Because we've got some other things that we can put on here. All right, so let's get rid of this one. I might use that on something else, who knows. But I think that works better. We'll put this green one on top of that one. And then we can put, this one's really big. I don't know that I like that one. We could put a couple of these on here, right? I thought there were 5 of them. Oh, there's the other one. Oops. Oh, there it is. Yep. And I have all kinds of powder on my table here. I was definitely sloppy with the powder. All right, what do you think of that? I think that one actually works. What do you think? Well, see, the problem with having the black one on top is that I missed some of the embossing here, although I could put the sentiment on top of that. Because originally I had thought about having that black one on top too. So let me just start putting some of these pieces together so we can see what it looks like. The lines contrast the snowflakes. Yeah, I like the one with the lines better, definitely. I agree. All right. I like the liquid glue because then I can shift it around until it's where I want it a little bit there. All right, so let's get, I take your pick tool. No. Well, I could put this maybe over there. That'll camouflage a little bit. But now I don't know where I'm going to put that sentiment or what I'm going to have it say. So we'll see. Oops, that was stupid. Then we'll put our little bucket on here. That's cute how it's double duty. So it can be that ornament topper or it can be a tree bucket. And then I have to get some of this powder taken care of because it's really obnoxious. All right, and then put our star up here. Oh, not the dot. I want the star. Yeah, I like it when you can use one thing for multiple purposes. Like using the circles out of that first ornament, wherever that went, here. The circles out of here became the ornaments for here. And then I think I still might want to put some embellishments on here just because my embossing wasn't super neat because I was trying to rush. Let's just put a couple of these on. So we'll go here. We'll kind of camouflage some of that. We'll just go all out with the gold on this tree. What do you think? Juju, that should make you happy. You like it all blinged up, right? That's a lot of bling, but my granddaughter would love it. There. That's probably too much, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. It's a Christmas tree. It's supposed to have lots of bling, right? All right, let me get rid of some of this powder. I don't know if you can see that, but there's quite a stack on here. There. Alrighty. So now let's glue these on. And I'm going to glue them on the white, of course, because it's a smaller piece. And let's try to line this up a little bit so I can follow maybe that dashed line there. I think that's straight. What didn't look good? See, out of sight, out of mind. I forget what we were talking about. Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I'm cutting my embossing powder, hey? Whew. All right, I think this is what we're working on. Yes. All right, let's flip that over. So this will go on here. That'll work. Yeah, I hope somebody doesn't pop in at just that very moment that that was on the screen. That might get me in some trouble, huh? I'm having a little difficulty here because I can't put my head over the top of this card. Yeah, my husband was a police officer too for many years, like 40 years. So yeah, that would be bad. All right. I got a little glue residue here. If it was a lot, I would put my embossing buddy over it first and dry it out. That looks a little crooked to me, but maybe it's just me. All right. So do I need to stamp off some more snowflakes, do you think? Because some of these are going to be covered up, and then we need to do the sentiment. Should we do Be Jolly? Or this, Wishing You Peace and Joy? Because then I can put it right over where that's missing, but I'll cover up that one gem, which isn't a big deal. What do we think? Big or Be Jolly? Because Be Jolly, I could just do a circle punch for that. Be Jolly. Peace. Peace. Okay. So the whole thing for, yeah, Wishing You Peace and Joy. Okay. And then do we want that in black with gold embossing? Or just black ink on white paper? Decision time. We'll hang on to those. Black and white. All right, so black ink on white. White paper, black ink. Okay, that makes it easier. Oops, I don't want to use that one though, because that's a note card. And those are my envelopes. Where'd my white go? I know I had a piece of white. Here we go. All right. All right. I think it needs a black border. That's what I think. All right, it's getting there. A little bit of a struggle, but we're getting there. Juju, you heading over to Pam's page too? I'm not going to be able to. I have to check my sourdough starter and see how much it's risen so I can get my dough going. I need to make 5 dozen rolls for Saturday. All right, so these I think I'm going to glue flat. And where did my other tree go? Oh, for goodness sakes. Where did my tree go? Nope, sleep after this. You got an early day, huh? Okay, what did I do with my tree, you guys? Here it is. It fell on the floor. All right. So let's get the dimensionals. Oops, I guess I need to glue these on first. Oh, I know. Here it goes again. What did I do with that? Like, it was just right in front of my face. All right, I think that'll work. So that one's going to go right about there. And like my reverse tweezers, when I couldn't find those, they were right in plain view. But they were on top of some designer series paper, so I think I just was not seeing them through the tree, not seeing the forest for the trees. I think that's how that saying goes. All right, so this will go here. And then before I get too much further, do you think I need to put more snowflakes stamped off? Because like some of these are getting covered up. Oops. think maybe I just will for fun. Oh, now I need my scrap again. Guess I can leave this out. I usually say something like, oh, for heaven's sakes. That'll work. All right. Because some of those are going to be covered up. Some of the original ones. So I want that one up there, and then this is going to go here because I have to cover up that little oops where I missed. And so this one's going to come off. But I think I'm just going to put in the center of that little bauble there. All right, so a couple of dimensionals here. And then I think we're going to be done. You know, casing cards should just be like easier, but we made these really different from what is provided as a sample from Stampin' Up. And I like our versions very much. I think I want that up a little bit more because I want to see the top of that bucket. It's kind of fun. All right, well, that's from the other night. So there, those are pretty cute, I think. I would say those are pretty cute. What do you think? We don't need any red in here because we've got that either Pretty Peacock. I think that's Pretty Peacock, not Lost Lagoon. It's like stamped off. I don't know what color it is. But I think they turned out really good. Thank you for your decisive nature tonight. And tomorrow, what I had kind of thought of doing is, oh, maybe I'll just play. You guys can leave if you want. But since it's here, I want to do, it might be Lost Lagoon. Let me look at the colors on here. Let me put these back in here. So it's got Pretty Peacock. Lost Lagoon is not in here. Cherry Cobbler, Garden Green, Old Olive, Pretty Peacock, Secret Sea, and Shaded Spruce. So I think that's probably the Pretty Peacock. And if you look at like the two-tone cardstock, it would be the lighter version. All right. This paper is being non-compliant. There we go. All right. So these are previous card. I'll count those dies up later. So what I was thinking was using, no, it's really not too light for pretty, it could be Shaded Spruce. I don't use Shaded Spruce a whole lot, but that could be. But if you stamp off Pretty Peacock, that could be the color. So if you're looking at the two-tone cardstock, it might be, and I wonder if I have two-tone cardstock for Pretty Peacock. I think I do. Now, it's probably the Shaded Spruce. So that would be Shaded Spruce. Because there's a dark side of the Pretty Peacock. Yeah, Shaded Spruce for sure. Whoops. And this is just regular, it's not two-toned. All right, so shaded spruce. They're spruce trees. Awesome. All right. Hold up Lost Lagoon to it. Oh, Lost Lagoon. Yeah, but that's not one of the colors in the paper. But I'll go get some. But I'd say it's definitely shaded spruce. So it's definitely shaded spruce. Because there's a Lost Lagoon, shaded spruce, perfect match. Pretty peacock light. And then, nope, maybe not. That's the pretty peacock dark, and this is the pretty peacock light. So it's definitely shaded spruce. Alrighty. So what I was going to do here is, did it have shaded spruce as a color? Yes, it did. Whoa, avalanche. Whoops. So yeah, cherry cobbler, garden green, old olive, pretty peacock, secret sea, and shaded spruce. So yeah, that is what it is for sure. And I was going to do the snowflakes with embossing powder, but I discovered I cannot find my embossing powder, or my embossing paste, I mean. And I know I have some, but it might have dried out. I'm not sure. So I thought what I would do is some snowflake stuff going on here. Yep, that's coming. Whoops. Guess I'll have to do one down here, huh? I thought I was on my scrap paper, but I wasn't. Whoops. Oh well. Yeah, I had some of the sparkle embossing paste, and I try to extend the life of it by putting plastic wrap inside and pushing it down onto the paste, kind of like you would with guacamole, so it doesn't turn brown. And that does help. But I thought I had a newer bottle of just the regular embossing paste, and I don't know where it went. So we could also do a little bit of this. Whoops. But it does dry out pretty quick if you're not using it all the time. So I thought this was kind of a fun thing to do. Just use that star as a stencil or a decorative mask. So I want to go over here a little bit more maybe. I thought that was kind of fun, don't you? We've got a star there. So we could put this right over there and put some more texture in there. Kind of fun. And then we could actually even use this star as a focal point. I'm just going to put a little bit more shading on here. And, oh, I don't want to lose these. I have to finish mounting my stamps for that set. So here, if I, let's get rid of this. I'm going to lose stuff pretty soon. Oh, and here's our Tata tree. Here, if I score these, I think I was doing this last night. Was that last night or the night before? I lose track of time. And I'm just going to score these all on the same side. It didn't seem to make that much of a difference when I tried it before. And I was doing it with the gold. And I didn't really score hard enough. But this is how I made it kind of three-dimensional. So all I'm doing is I'm scoring on every point and inner piece, because what we're going to do then is fold them all. And these center ones, just because they're so narrow, they don't really want to fold. So I ended up just kind of folding the points when I did the gold one. And then these insides will push down. And it makes our star kind of stand up a little bit more. All right, I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals in the center of that. And I thought I had some white dimensionals out. There's just too much going on this desk right now. And I did 2 in the center to help it stand up a little taller. And then we'll just put a little bit of glue on the tips here. Maybe. There we go. And then I should probably put some twine and make it look like an ornament. Everybody got pretty quiet. All right, so this is going to go down here, but I need to. Is there a solid star die? No. Well, there's just a little one. This little one here. Are you meaning to put there? It's a 5-pointed star. So there's actually these 4-point ones that we used. Well, they look like this. They kind of can go in the center there. goes there, I guess. Oh, do you mean like for here? No, there's not a big enough one for that either. But I could have probably just outlined and fussy cut one, but do we really want to fussy cut again? I fussy cut quite a bit this week. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, there's not one the same size and shape. And that's a little longer than I intended it to be, but this is a note card, so it'll be fine. And then if we put a little sentiment on here, we could do, let's see, we could just do Merry Christmas. I wonder if, maybe if I just did 'Tis the Season right on the card. Stamps, ink, and paper kind of thing. And then, of course, it'll need some bling. The holographic paper? We have holographic paper? I know we've got the almost the iridescent bags from the Halloween stuff. Oh, that looks pretty good actually. So let's do these. I might have missed it. I almost missed the velvet paper. I wasn't going to get it, but then I decided to. No. All right. Do you think that needs anything else? I'll do these. 1, 2, maybe 3 of those will work there. Let me maybe try the tungsten paper for that, if I can find it. There it is. Oops. So put that there. And actually, I could do 2 there and offset them. That looks kind of fun. Yeah, I think that'll work. Yeah, I think I saw somebody was doing it. I think it was on the demonstrator planning place, where they were blending ink on the velvet. I'm like, oh, that's good to know. Because I like ink blending, clearly. Well, that's fun, don't you think? All right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. That's why I always do a head count so I don't lose any. All right. Put these away. All right, so we got 3 cards done tonight anyway. All right, so this is an old one. So these are the 3 for tonight. Well, not with the little tatas there. All right, so I am going to call it a night. Thanks for sticking with me, Fifi. I appreciate it. And collaborating. Oh, that must be my dimensionals, or is that the one I just pulled out? I don't remember. So now I want to see if I can get my page to come up so I can do a closing comment on here. See if I can find the live one. There we go. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Are you going to head over to Pam's page? Or her channel, rather? I'm not. I have to go check on my Thanks, Juju. I didn't realize your comments had popped up. I thought you had left us. You're heading to bed? Yeah, because you said you had an early morning, so I thought you had already gone. Well, I'm glad we have fun here. You know, I love sharing the ideas and changing up what Stampin' Up! Gives us. But, you know, if you go to the website and you look up the Ornamental Christmas and look at the samples, ours look really different. Even though I cased them, so good night, everybody. Those of you who didn't chime in, feel free to chime in next time. I appreciate if you like, subscribe to, share my page. It helps me share what I love with even more. And until next time, happy crafting.